Hello and welcome to the DLC weapon reviews for Battlefield 1's first DLC, They Shall Not Pass, which includes the French army. I am Beast Gamer, and I will take you through starting with the Shogun Inertial. Now, the Shogun Inertial was actually a Swedish design, but was used by Norwegians in World War I and World War II. Its manufacturer was Svenska Vapen. In 1908 to 1909 it was built, and only 5,000 were ever made. It was a 5-round internal magazine, tubular magazine to be in fact, with 12 gauge, and now for the Battlefield 1 stats. Battlefield 1 makes this weapon look more powerful than it is, with its cool design and its weapon unlocks. So the unlocks for this weapon are as follows. 50 kills with the Model 10A Hunter, not the Model 10A Hunter as you were expecting, because why would DICE give you an easy gun to use, but the Model 10A Slug, which comes with an optical sight and, well, you guessed it, slug rounds. And then its second requirement, you have to get 15 kills in a round with the M1897 Winchester trench gun, which, as you know, if you got Deluxe, that is the Hellfighter trench shotgun. So, now to the stats. It has a fire rate of 163 rounds per minute, which is the fastest firing shotgun in the game. And each one of those shots is going to contain 13 pellets. Now, each pellet up to 14 meters is gonna do roughly 8.2 damage. So if you're within 14 meters, you can instantly kill him. But don't rely on it too much, because you've only got 5 rounds, and if you go spraying and praying, then you'll miss all your shots and stuck with a reload. Why am I telling you this? Because it's happened to me in game. However, you will not at all get a hit marker past 150 meters. Hell, even 100 meters of that. Because the pellets, well, the pellets are trying to hit your target. Well, they ain't exactly the most accurate things in the world. So, and finally, the muzzle velocity for this is 333 meters per second, which is actually really fast for a shotgun. Well, any firearm now. So, is the Shogun Inertial a good weapon choice? Absolutely. It's good in close quarters, it's good at medium range, and it's good all around. So, without further ado, let's move on to the Lebel 1886. Now, the Lebel 1886 was France's, well, it was the first weapon ever to fire smokeless powder. It was the standard issue rifle for France during World War I, considering they were not being made anymore because of DRSC, used the same model as the Lebel, but it was a semi-auto, but we'll get to that later. Now, DICE have really portrayed the Lebel model 1886 in-game, just as they would in real life. It's got an 8-round tubular mag, which can only be reloaded 1 bullet at a time, and well, now let's get on to the weapon stats. So, the sweet spot for the Lebel, if you don't know what the sweet spot is, it's a point where it'll do 100 damage to the chest or head at a certain range. And for the Lebel, it's quite a weird one. It starts at 50 meters and ends at 86 meters. which is in between the SMLE MK3, or Enfield as you might know it, and the Winchester model 1895. Now, the rounds per minute is exactly the same as the Enfield, 56 rounds per minute. So it's sort of sharing some of the Winchester and the Enfield's similarities. Now it's got a relatively fast muzzle velocity at 720 meters per second and a bullet drop of 12 meters per second squared. So if you're going with the sniper and trying to hit those long range shots, just take into account the bullet drop. And one last thing is the unlocks. To get the infantry, you need 50 kills with the Guevara 95 and 20 spot flare assists. And for the sniper, you need, in a round, 5 headshots with the Russian 1895 sniper. And then you need 10 periscope assists, which isn't too hard if you're playing maps like Monte Grappa or like really long range maps where you find loads of snipers. But this is a gun worth getting. And now let's move on to the show shot light machine gun. Now the show shot light machine gun was obviously another French weapon, but it was the one to have the most problems due to its open magazine. It was only 20 rounds, and DICE have tweaked it a little. Because in real life, the show shot barely reached 240 rounds a minute. But in game, it can go up to 300 plus. Well, not plus, but certainly a lot more than in game. Well, in real life. At a rounds per minute of 359. And it's the first light machine gun to break the 23 damage drop-off. Because if you're, well, I don't know why, but if you're at least 10 meters away from your opponent, it will take you 3 shots to take him down. All the way out to 15 meters. Or maybe even 12. But when it starts doing the 23 damage, which every light machine gun user knows, is at 40 meters, where you need 5 bullets to drop your opponent. So, why was the show shot a massive problem? Well, it was slow firing, it only had 20 rounds in the magazine, and that magazine was open. So, dirt and mud could easily get in and jam the mechanism. Is this a good investment? I would say yes, because it's hard hitting, somewhat fast firing, and, well, you don't get weapon jams in Battlefield 1. So now, we're moving on to the Riba Rolls 1918. Now, the Riba Rolls is what people called the first automatic assault rifle, because it had the power of a submachine, well, it had the portability of a submachine gun, along with the stopping power of a light machine gun. So, it was initially the world's first light machine gun, thanks to France. Now, it had a 550 rounds per minute, which is equal to the M18, and a 25 round box mag, and unusual for an SMG, a bipod. So, up to 11 meters, it'll do the maximum 23 damage, which will take 5 bullets to drop an enemy. But beyond 50 meters, you're gonna need 7, because it only goes down to 15. Which, in fairness, isn't good. Is the Riba Rolls good? Yes, it is. It is a good investment. So now, onto our final gun, the RSC 1917. Now the RSC is France's attempt at a semi-automatic rifle. And, well, let's say they just succeeded. Because it was made by 3 designers. Riba, Suta, and Shosha. Now, it's fed by a 5-round stripper clip internal magazine. I was in service all the way up to 1926. I'm sorry I forgot the requirements for the other 2 guns, but they'll be on the video anyway. So, for the factory variant, you are going to need 50 kills with the M1907 sweeper, and then 50 revives, if I recall. It's been a while. And for the optical, you need, in a round, 15 kills with the auto-loading 8.35 factory, and 75 heals, which isn't hard at all. And this weapon is a 1-shot kill. Well, 2-shot kill even. Up to 44 meters, doing 53 damage. But then drops off to 38 and 59 meters. So it goes from a 2-shot to a 3-shot, if you've got the accuracy for it. It uses the same round as the Lebel, so it has all the same stats, and it has 163 rounds per minute. Which, in fairness, is good for a semi-automatic. So, they have been the weapons of They Shall Not Pass. Should you get them? Absolutely. Should you get every single one? Not necessarily. It depends on how good your accuracy is and how good your target is at evading bullets. If he's really good, then go for like an iron sight variant. But if he's not, then go for an optical variant. I will be back bringing you some map tutorials on the new maps, Verdun Heights, Fort de Vaux, Soissons, and Rupture. Until then, see you later.